my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about one of the many crazy Uber stories I have. So if you didn't know, I actually have really bad anxiety with driving. It definitely has gotten a lot better now. I've been working through it, but in the past I wouldn't even drive. I didn't want to get my driver's license. I was way too scared. So Uber was very, very useful for me because I still needed to go to places, and I actually used it every single day to get to and from work, unless Patrick and I had like the same schedule, and that was even a little bit later on. But before we were even working at the same job, I would just use Uber every single day, which you would think would get really pricey, but they do have like really good deals. Like I use I think it was like $3 a day for like the car share ride thing, and I would always use that. So I am just gonna jump right into the story. I actually did use Uber Share, and whenever you use Uber Share, it's not always guaranteed that you're going to be sharing the car. Sometimes you're the first person to get in, and then sometimes people don't even really get in at all. So I did use Uber Share, and I got a male driver, and in the beginning of my Uber rides I used to like talk to the Uber drivers because I didn't want to be rude. You go with the basic conversation of,
how long have you been doing Uber for? Oh, you like it? Cool, yeah, my day's going great.
I'm just gonna be very blunt. You get fucking tired having the same conversation day after day, especially when you're using Uber literally all the time. I get that they are trying to make tips and everything like that, which I would do anyway. I just appreciated more of the quiet Uber drivers than anything, and I learned a trick that if you actually put in headphones, they typically try not to talk to you. So of course I put headphones in, but this guy gave no fucks that I had headphones in, and he decided to try to talk over the headphones. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to have a conversation. And I know that sounds so bad, but I'm telling you guys, I used Uber so much, at least twice a day, and if I wanted to do activities throughout the day, more than that. So I would literally be having the same conversation, and it just gets old, okay? So I'm gonna take them out, and the first thing he asked me is what I do for a living. And while I'm doing Uber rides, I don't really like to be super honest. I don't like to give out where I work. I don't even put in like the correct address whenever I am going to work or going home. I will actually put it like maybe a block off where I could actually walk, and then that way I could call somebody and walk, just because it's a little bit more safe. And so I lied. I told him I worked at a mini golf place, which if you've been following my journey for a while, you know I actually worked at a mini golf place, so that way in case he had questions, I didn't sound like I was lying. I could actually give him some things about the mini golf place. I just no longer work there because they actually closed it down. And the next thing he proceeds to say is, oh, that's weird. Not a lot of pretty girls don't dance. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I have a pretty innocent mind. I wasn't thinking of dancing as being an exotic dancer or anything like that. I know I live in Vegas and you would think that's like the first thing that comes to my mind, but it's not. If you are new here, I actually got pregnant at 17. Yeah, I know, sounds terrible, but there's loads of videos on that if you're interested. My days are typically spent changing diapers and cleaning up throw up and things of that nature, you know, trying to keep my sanity, opposed to like spending time going out and partying and going to those type of clubs. So it really just didn't pop up in my mind. So my dumbass goes, oh no, I dance. I do dance. I actually dance hip hop, but as like an activity, not as a job. About seconds later, it kind of hits me, wait, he wasn't talking about that kind of dance. So then he proceeds to say, oh really? And in my mind, I'm like, fuck, 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 please, let's not make this awkward. Nope, we gotta make it awkward in this bitch. So he continues to say that he actually works at as a security guard, and they were looking for more dancers, and I would fit the exact description that they were looking for. I was like, oh no, 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 this guy doesn't even know I have a mom body. Which I'm not shaming mom bodies, okay? We could still work it. I'm just saying, I'm not, you know, super comfortable with that. So I then, of course, back it up. I'm like, oh wait, no, 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 not that kind of dancing. And he was like, no, 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 it's like the same thing. You just, you know, take your clothes off. And I was like, yeah, no, I understand, you know, how it could be combined, but I just don't want to combine it, you know? It was a very awkward conversation, to say the least. And I just don't like being mean, because I personally, I grew up obviously here in Las Vegas. I don't really care what you do. I don't look down at dancers. I think it's pretty badass if you feel that confident in your body and you could do that, you want to make money that way. I don't care. It's just something I personally would never want to do. And this guy was pretty like into his job, and I didn't want to offend him. I didn't want him to think that I was looking down at him, that he worked in that industry or anything like that, because I genuinely do not care. But I also didn't really want to continue the conversation about it. It was something that obviously made me feel uncomfortable talking to a stranger while we were in his car and he's controlling the car. So I'm trying to tell him no in a nice way. So I'm laughing, I'm like, no, like, you know, I already have a job, I like what I do. Then he continues to say how much money I would make and I would be a perfect fit. He keeps pushing it and telling me all the benefits about it and how safe it is. So then a ding goes off, and that means that there is another rider coming in, because it is a ride share. And I was like, hallelujah, this conversation will end, right? This guy comes in and he goes into the car and he's drunk as fuck. Like, he is drunk, he's gone. And he obviously sits next to me, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a even funnier ride. I have a story to tell Patrick when I get home. You would think, you know, the conversation would end, because this guy has like no idea what we're talking about, and that's usually what happens whenever you're in an Uber ride share. At least in my experience, every time I start a conversation with the Uber driver, somebody else comes in, it just kind of stops, and then I put my headphones back in and then we're all good. But no, he continues to go on and say like, come on, you'd be really good at it, just do it, what are you afraid of? And so then the drunk guy wants to chime in, and he's like,
hey, what are you guys talking about?
He's like, oh, well, I work at He was like, you want a free comp, dude? I got you. So then he's like handing out a business card to him. So he continues on, he's like, I'm trying to talk this girl into becoming a dancer. He's like, yeah, you'd be great. Like, hitting me on the back, and I'm like, please, dear Lord, kill me. I'm done with this conversation. And so I text Patrick at this point to call me, and I started telling him like what was going on, and of course Patrick's like pissed off. He's like getting all peacock, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy. He calls me, and so I basically played it off like we were having an emergency. So I told the guy, I was like, oh shit, I'm having an emergency, can you drop me off at the side of the road right here? I waited until there was like businesses and stuff, so it wasn't like the side of the road. I just wanted out of the car to stop the conversation. I didn't really care if I had to pay for another Uber ride or anything like that. He was like, oh yeah, are you sure? Like, I could speed home. And I was like, no, it's okay. So he pulls over and he lets me out. I got out. So I went inside one of the stores, and I didn't want to order an Uber right away just because he was right there. So it could have actually called him again, where I would have been inside his car again. I would have had to cancel. So instead, I went inside the store, shopped around for about 30 or 40 minutes, talking on the phone with Patrick, telling him what happened, and then ended up calling another Uber. I got another Uber. Luckily, that Uber driver let me put my headphones in. Now I am able to drive a little bit better. I do prefer to have somebody like sitting with me, but my anxiety just isn't as bad as what it used to be, so that is good. I no longer have to deal with Uber. So always make sure whenever you are using Uber though, to be safe, I would never put in the exact address that you're going to, especially if it's your home or where you work. And I would always tell somebody that you are taking an Uber. They know they have like a feature on there that you could do it. I would tell somebody even outside of that feature as well. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it, and stay safe guys. Have a great one. Bye.